On her tombstone, it would just say, fornicated.
Sorry, hello. Hey.
Third person? Kind of.
She's single, she's new.
Yeah.
Hi.
So,
I'm out, like.
Just I don't know.
the psychological trick that turns women on. If you have a look at some of my interviews that I have done in the past, you can go through my interviews and you can see my interactions with women where I'm standing there, I'm non-reactive to them, but they're reactive to me. And when people call it frame battle, they call it non-compliance. There's a multitude of different words for it. People call it teasing, they call it spiking, they call it a whole range of different things. You can call it whatever you want. But if you go through some of my old interviews, you will see how I'm standing there and I'm not reacting to them. I'm saying things that are very challenging, and they end up crumbling and giggling, while I end up, you'll see it. I'll try to explain it, but before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. If you want some coaching with me, top link in the description, where you can sign up to do some coaching with me. My Telegram group is in the description as well. You can talk to me one-on-one. And if you want to figure out who I am and why I know what I'm talking about, read my book. It's a bit of an autobiography. So, the psychological trick that turns women on. Now, one thing, I dare say frame battle is probably the most effective term for this. What it is it's you're challenging everything that she says, not because you actually disagree with what she says, and not because she said something wrong or you don't like what she's doing. You're doing it just for the sake of challenging her. So for instance, if she says that she wants to catch a train a few stops to go to this other place, you might want to catch the train as well, but you say, no, I don't think we should do that because trains and the CO2, it goes into the environment. Don't you care about the environment? Don't you care about global warming? It doesn't even have to make sense. You can make things up. It's like, we're going to go for sushi, which is one of my favorites. She says, oh, I like sushi too. I go, oh, we can't go have sushi because they're killing all of the fish. Don't you care about the fish? Don't you care about the sea? So you're like challenging everything about them, even irrelevant little things. Oh, maybe we should take the shortcut down this little alleyway, you know? No, we shouldn't go down there. And just make up some weird reason why. It's challenging and disagreeing. I guess that's why people call it non-compliance. But if you look at some of my interviews, where I've done interviews, street interviews, that's when you start to see that I've been naturally doing this for a very long time, and now I'm starting to understand, because I'm coaching guys like you, what I am actually doing. It's not really about what they're saying, and it's not really about the topic or the issue at hand. I'm engaging in a battle, a frame battle, and it does turn women on because it's flirtatious. It shows that you don't care. You're kind of humorous as well. They don't know what's going to come next. It's spontaneity. When you're spontaneous and you have all of these facets, you're challenging. It's a frame battle. It also helps you lead later on too. So it's like you have this little battle. You show that you're spontaneous. It also creates a little bit of mystery. And when it comes down to the point where it's your turn to lead, it helps with compliance and leading on a date. And generally, most of the time, it will work. So it doesn't really matter what the issue is, what the topic is, what we're actually talking about. It can be copied and pasted in any situation with any conversation. It doesn't really matter. So don't just look at my examples, write them down, understand the philosophy behind it, and you will do far better with your interactions with women. There is an issue, and this is something that most coaches won't be able to tell you because most coaches are full of shit. if you read my book, have been a natural from day one. I'm not not a nerd turned expert through reading books or whatever. This is my autobiography. I have messed this up, I don't know how many times, hundreds of times. So what happens is you can challenge, and you can challenge, and you can challenge, and you can have this frame battle, and it can get to the point where the woman, the girl, or whatever, she just says, but what's going on? Like, are you always like this? You see, and that has happened to me countless times. So you can push it too far. And it's taken a lot of practice and a lot of experience for me to try to gauge where the sweet spot is. So you challenge, challenge, challenge. You don't continue challenging, because then it gets to a point where she gets frustrated with you. I suggest that you guys out there, you push it to the point where you're going to probably frustrate a lot of women. You're going to push it too far, and you're going to blow out that date. You're going to blow out that interaction. Things are going to go very, very wrong. And then you'll know where the barrier is, and then next time you wheel it back. But what happened? How do you get that experience? Well, going out there in the field and practicing with girls that you're attracted to. Sure, you're going to push it too far with the girl that you really like, but then you need to learn the sweet art of cold approach to go meet another girl that you like, because that's what men have to suffer through, which is rejection. Rejection's part of the game. And once you learn to deal with rejection and you learn to practice your game, the better you will get at game, the more likely you are to hit that sweet spot and have it all work out perfectly. You win the frame battle, you get the compliance, you're able to lead, and you get the girl. It's all connected back to the frame battle. And this is something that a lot of pretty boys don't understand either, is because they get compliance immediately, so they don't need to battle at all. They don't need to neg. They don't need to do any of the things that are evidence of real game, because their mate value's up here, and they're targeting girls down here beneath their mate value. They're the same guys that go over and give a compliment. They go over and say, hey, I think you're really pretty, little girly, because he's like a rapper and he's a superstar. She's like, oh, really? You know, but if she's on your level or she's above you, and you go over and go, hi, I think you're really cute. She's like, well, of course you are, you little shit. Who the hell are you? You troll. You see, it's the same thing. So the pretty boys don't need to have the frame battle. They don't need to neg. They don't need to go indirect. You see, and that's why it's so easy for them. They just go over, pay a compliment, let the girl know that they're interested, because it's some sort of, they're not socially aware enough. And also, if you're not socially aware enough that you, or have the social skills to project your interest in a girl, that you have to tell her that you're attracted to her, that's evidence that you're not socially aware enough to understand what that you are punching down, that you are attracting girls that are beneath your mate value. And that's fine. Men have always been getting girls beneath their mate value for thousands of years, more so today than ever. And they're happy with that. They're satisfied with that. There's a delusion within men where they have sex with one girl 5 years ago, and they'll continuously tell you that story for the next 20 years. And that's good for society, that men have that delusional state in their mind. But when we look at coaches and we look at other men that are getting success, they're punching down. I remember going out with a guy that had no game at all. It was a friend of mine from high school, and 6'2". He had a V-shaped body, like big shoulders. He was a Muay Thai fighter. He just had this V. He had a six-pack. He was a good-looking guy. He had the hair. And some of the girls he was going out with were trolls. But to everybody else, he was telling everyone how much of a player he was, because the delusional state within his mind convinced him that he was a player, when in fact he was punching down. And if I was to coach him and he wasn't egotistical enough to actually listen to me, because he had too much of an ego, gee, he could have been like banging the president's daughter, or Victoria's Secret models, or things like that, you know, next level, by shooting above him. And I would hear him giving compliments and doing all these other things, and he never ever had a frame battle. His frame battle came to the point where it was just like, but I really like you, I think you're really beautiful, to girls that were punching down. They're like, okay, I'm getting compliance from him, so she's going to go with him because she's got this guy above her mate value, and he's shown utter loyalty to her. That's really what was going on when he's paying a compliment and he's showing compliance to her. He's showing his devotion to her so that she will trust him. But if you want to get girls above your mate value that are higher quality than you, more attractive than you, just higher quality in every single way, above your mate value, you're going to have to engage in a frame battle. This is where the neg was invented. The neg, the frame battle, non-compliance, whatever you want to call it, you have to engage in that, or you're only going to be punching down. And that's not what game is. That really isn't what game is. This is one trick which I think that you all need to know if you want to get girls above your mate value. So if you like this video, click the subscribe button, and if you want some coaching with me, top link in the description. And obviously if you want to learn a little bit about my life, the book's in the description as well, the Telegram group's in the description as well, and sign up to a bootcamp. Learn the sweetheart of cold approach and frame battle your way down the street. That's where the real fun is. I'll see you guys in the next video.